Well, just for the hell of it, let's find a little light.
Hey folks, it's King's Drummer here, and in this video I thought, just for the hell of it, I was going to show you a collection of records that I've been going to a lot to listen to just for relaxation and just to be put into a great mood. Normally when I go vinyl shopping, I usually get a nice stack and I slowly absorb them for the next week and a half or so, or 2 weeks until I go out and buy new records. But I sometimes get into a mood where I don't want to hear the new stuff, the new records I bought. I want to revisit some older ones in my collection, and I noticed this little stack here of records I've been going to a lot because they represent my favorite albums. So just like the annoying country song you hear in the background says, just for the hell of it, I'm going to show you guys a stack of albums I just keep going to over and over and over for because I think they're good albums, and they're such relaxing to listen to. Well, they're good albums. The first one, of course, is a Rush album because I'm a drummer, and it's all drummers have to like Rush. It's the law. Moving Pictures, though. I keep listening to this album over and over and over again. I can't stop listening to this. It's just one of my favorite albums from Rush, and I have just about every Rush album there is, provided the ones after Presto, because those records are so damn expensive. So I have all the ones from their first album all the way to Presto, minus Caress of Steel. Still looking for that one. But this one right here has to be my favorite out of all the ones that I own. It was during that keyboard era of Rush that gets so criticized by a lot of people, because everybody doesn't want to hear Rush with keyboards. They want to hear guitar, bass, and killer drums and Geddy's high-ass vocals. But this one was a little different because there's so many tracks and layers of keyboard in the music, but it really worked on this album. And where it works the best is a song called Middletown Dreams. I love the lyrics, I love the arrangement of the song, and I love how they use the keyboards in it. And I love the whole album, but Middletown Dreams and Grand Designs are the two songs that really inspire me. And I notice I always play those songs over and over and over, and pretty much the whole album. It's such an inspiring album to listen to, and it is one of my favorite Rush albums. This one I've been listening to a lot lately because I just saw this guy in concert. Actually, the day before I filmed a video with Robert, the teacher, when I went to Sacramento and we went vinyl shopping together. It was the day after I saw this guy in concert, and it's Eric Johnson, and this album's called Tones. I wouldn't say this is my favorite Eric Johnson album, but I love them all, so I really can't say I have a favorite because I love every single one of his records, and especially this album. And if I have to pick my favorite song on side one, it would have to be a song called Emerald Eyes. A lot of people say they don't like Eric Johnson's vocals. I think he has a good voice. I don't think he has a great voice, but he has a good voice. And Emerald Eyes is one of my favorite songs with his singing. I really love the way he sings. And my favorite song on side two has to be, there's two songs that are kind of medleyed together, they're kind of connected, and it's Trail of Tears going to a song called Bristol Shore. And the guitar work in those two songs are just leaves me speechless, really. When I saw him in concert, because he's such a great musician, I'm just floored by how good a musician he is. I don't play guitar. I don't understand the basics of playing guitar, because I think if I did, I'd probably be twice as blown away by him. I just love I just love what he brings to music, and I mean, he's not a hype guy. He doesn't go out for a hit single or surrounded by babes in a fantastic high dollar video. He's a working musician, and and I could tell even though he's probably in his late 50s, early 60s, I could tell he practices every day as if he were a teenager. That's the kind of dedication he brings to his work. That's what I love about this album, especially the very last song called Victory, which is an instrumental, and it's just some beautiful guitar work. And this guy, when I saw him in concert on Friday, he just blew me away, because there's a little bit of everything in Eric Johnson's concerts. There's rock, of course, there's jazz, there's country, there's blues, and a lot of improvisation, jamming, and some classic Hendrix tunes, Beatles tunes, Bob Dylan tunes. You get so much in 2 hours of music just sitting to an Eric Johnson show. So I've been going to that record a lot lately because he gave such a great concert a few weeks ago. One of my favorite bands of all time, and I've been digging into this record too, is Gratitude by Earth, Wind & Fire. Kind of half live album, half studio album. I love Sing a Song, which is just an uplifting tune. The song Gratitude, which is a cool song. Can't Hide Love, it's always been one of my favorite ballads from this band. Everybody, when they look at this album, they always go to the live version of Reasons, which is fantastic. I'm not saying anything against that song, but if you listen to the live version of the song Devotion, I tend to like that more than Reasons. Probably because Reasons is so overplayed on old school R&B radio, but they don't play Devotion that much, and that's just a great song. But one of my favorite songs on this live record, and I'll open it up for people who can see it. It's a gatefold, and they have some pictures of the band. But one of my favorite songs on here is an instrumental, just showing how good musicians they are. It's a song called New World Symphony, and it is such a killer tune. This band put out some awesome instrumentals, and they are so cool to listen to because they're such great musicians, as well as they got some great singers on the band as well. But New World Symphony is one of my favorite songs because it goes through so many moods, and there's this killer keyboard solo on it. And the band can just jam, and it's funky. I wouldn't say it's fusion, but it kind of reminds me of what a fusion band would do. This is such a great record, and I love their music because every time I listen to it, once the needle hits that first note in the song, I just automatically feel good, and that's what I love about R&B music and Earth, Wind & Fire. It's like the second I listen to it, I just feel really good, and it's just packed full of joy, those songs. Another favorite live record of mine is Talking Heads' Stop Making Sense. I listen to this song all the time, especially when I want to kick back and listen to music and have a few beers and just relax on a Thursday night or a Friday night. This is just a fun record to listen to if you just want to have a good time with your music collection and have a few drinks. This is a fun album to put on. I love the version they have here of Psycho Killer because he plays acoustic guitar and sings along with the drum machine that has a lot of old school drum machine sounds like the 808 bass and 808 snare, and a lot of other various drum machine, early 80 drum machine sounds, which really sound cool. It's almost like a hip hop version of the song, but kind of. And Once in a Lifetime has always been my favorite Talking Heads song, and it sounds great on this album. And this is and Burning Down the House just smokes on here. It's a great album, a great live album. I also have the live DVD that goes with it. Just as awesome to listen to. So this has been one of my favorite records for quite a long time, and always fun to listen to. Okay, now this record is inspiring. Probably my favorite album, or one of my favorite albums in my collection. It's definitely in the top 3. I will never get tired of this record because it is just a brilliant piece of music. Stevie Wonder, Inner Vision. Now I know I've shown this record a lot on my videos, past videos, as well as a few others, but this is one of my all-time favorite albums. You know, Maroon on an Island. You only got a turntable, a pair of headphones, and you can only take 5 records with you. Well, I would think this would be almost like either first or second record I would grab. Because so many good songs on here. The whole album is good. You don't really have to name a song. Everyone knows Living for the City. Everybody knows Higher Ground, but I really love Jesus, Children of America, and He's Mr. Know-It-All. I mean, those 2 songs, they just really blow me away because Stevie Wonder is such a great writer. And I personally think, this is just my opinion, that this album is his best, and it shows off his writing the best. And a lot of people will say it's got to be songs in the key of life, but for my money and for my ears, I really love this album. Don't get me wrong, Songs in the Key of Life is a brilliant album as well, but this one's really close to my heart. I love this album. An album I've been listening to a lot lately because online I found a channel that shows a lot of documentaries of bands legendary bands that were put together, legendary R&B bands, and how they were put together, their rise of fame, their fall. And I caught a documentary about the band Shalamar. And I always loved Shalamar's music since I was a kid because when I was growing up, my brothers, all my older brothers, and both my older brothers, my sister, they loved R&B music, old school R&B music, late 70s, early 80s. Every Saturday we would watch Soul Train, so that's why I was bummed out when Don Cornelius passed away recently. And so I remember watching a lot of Soul Train. I remember seeing this lady on Soul Train quite a bit. And then I remember seeing her on Shalamar, and then when she broke out solo. So we're talking about Jody Watley. And I always, number one, back in the day, this came out in the mid-80s. I would say 85 or 86. And when this came out, she had a lot of music videos to support this album. And I had a huge crush on her. I had a big-time crush on Jody Watley. She is a beautiful woman, but she has a fantastic voice and some great music on here. Obviously, Looking for New Love is the big hit, but there's a song called Still a Thrill, which is like one of the coolest funky songs in the world. And I remember she sang on a talk show. I think it was King Ivory Wayans. He had his own talk show briefly, and she was a musical guest on there, and she did a live version of Still a Thrill. Man, woman can dance, woman can move, and like I said, beautiful voice, and still puts out records, and they're still fantastic. What You Want Me is also a great song, as well as the song Most of All, and Some Kind of Lover. I love this album. I gotta get a better copy. I think I heard a few skips in this, but I really love this album. She won I believe it was either a Grammy or American Music. It was American Music Award for Best New Artist the year this album came out. And I don't really like the American Music Awards too much, but I was happy she won it back then because I thought she was deserving of it. And she put out a damn good record. And she's had other great songs. I bought a CD recently of her Greatest Of, and this is my favorite album from her. And Jody Watley can sing some killer music. Okay, I promised myself I wouldn't put Genesis in this pile because I talk enough about Genesis, but this is a Genesis-related record that I keep listening to a lot, and it's Small Creeps Day from Mike Rutherford. I have his other solo album, which is called Acting Very Strange. Not really a big fan of that album, but I really do like this album. This is his first solo album, and it is fantastic. The artwork on this cover could be better, but the music is really good. Especially the song Moonshine, Time and Time Again, Romani, and then the Small Creek Suite, which is a concept which takes up the whole side 2 of the album. And it's just a fantastic album. Michael Rutherford really comes into his own as a songwriter on this record. And I wish he had made more proggy concept records such as this one. I think the next one he tried to go more commercial with Acting Very Strange. It didn't go over very well, though there were some decent songs on it. And then after that he formed like the Mechanics and never came back to releasing a solo record. But it's too bad because this one was really good. And I remember I used to be on a Genesis internet community forum with a bunch of Genesis fans around the world, and they used to talk. They really used to hype this album up a lot. And I remember the summer I finally decided to buy the CD. I was thinking, I bought it real cheap, thinking I probably wasn't gonna like it. But I put it on, and I was hooked instantly from the first song, which was Moonshine. Just a great album. And good drumming on this album, because the drummer on this album is Simon Phillips. Almost forgot his name. And it's just a killer record. And like I said, Rutherford's songwriting and his guitar playing is really good. I think he's not really known for his guitar playing, but his guitar work on this album is really good. And what was great about this one is Anthony Phillips, one of the original members of Genesis from way back when, plays keyboards on this. So it was kind of like a reunion of the old Genesis, just for this one album. Him and Anthony Phillips on one album once again. And I think it was the last time they worked on an album together. So that's what makes this album extra special. Well, that's going to do it, folks. Just a few records that I go to a lot when I just don't want to absorb the new stuff I bought. Because the records I just can't get away from. Because I love them to death, and they really inspire me. Well, I mean, that's going to do it, folks. Just a quick look at some of the albums I really like. And pretty soon I'll be heading out and doing some more digging and have some newer records to show you. So hope to see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.